State's certainly playing very well, having won 3 of 4, and 2 really good wins last week against Virginia and NC State, 2 tournament teams. Having said that, we had 2 good games with them. Probably should have won the game down at their place, but couldn't quite get it done. Looking forward to seeing how things go at the tournament.
Coach, it doesn't affect this year's tournament, but will affect next year's tournament. I'm curious to get your thoughts on Notre Dame.
Yeah, just great program. I think it brings a lot to the league. Mike Bray's done an unbelievable job there. I'm probably more familiar with Notre Dame than some people. I think a little underappreciated basketball-wise. I don't think people realize how successful they've been, especially since Mike took over. But even before then, really Digger had an unbelievable run there for a while. So it's really an underappreciated basketball school in a lot of ways in terms of they've got tradition, had a lot of recent success, and they're able to recruit nationally in basketball as well. And so they I think they'll add a lot of value to our league.
As you a million times how you raise the play a team 3 times in the same season, you kind of plug in a formula in terms of how you analyze and game plan for a team the first time around?
Nothing different than normal. I mean, the interesting thing in this situation a little bit is we haven't played those guys since 3rd week of January. So we really haven't seen that much of them. I haven't seen as much from even watching other teams as recently, so I've had to go back and watch a little bit more. There haven't been as many common opponents of late, but they're still doing a lot of the things they always do, and I really think Snare and Okara White are two very good players. They're a dangerous 3-point shooting team. They can make shots. They make free throws. They get free throws. That's what hurt us in the second game. And they have some guys that have had experience of winning the whole tournament. So I think they'll be confident going into the game.
Do you like this matchup considering you played them as close as you have both times?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I certainly feel like we can beat them. They've certainly proven they can beat us. We've had a lot of good games with Florida State over the years. So it'll be competitive. We'll have to play well because athletically they're very gifted. Again, I think they're playing well and feeling good about themselves, so they'll come into the game with some swagger and confidence. And obviously there's some guys there that cut down the nets at that place last year. So, that'll be, things that make them feel even better about their opportunity. Having said that, for us, I think our team has continued to practice pretty well. I think we've, guys are approaching things the right way, and we just, we need to shoot a little bit better and finish some things better to win some games.
Based on how well Devin has played when more times than not, he's been the smallest guy in the paint. You look at Florida State and all those sides, that might be something you think about in terms of game planning for this game.
No, not necessarily. Those guys are tall, and Ojo's really strong. Turpin is long. Bojanowski is long, but Devin's physically gifted. I mean, he's got tools athletically to be successful against most players. Some games it's a little more difficult than others based on how teams play. But we'll certainly be trying to throw the ball to him in there when he gets good position.
Where's KJ at?
I don't know what percentage he is. I mean, he's 90%, I'm guessing. I think there are times he's still trying to be completely comfortable with the ankle. But he's practiced yesterday and should be fine today. And I thought he gave us some quality minutes at Miami. He's not 100%. I don't think he feels 100%, but he certainly is good enough to be out there competing and not risking any further injury.
Is there a nothing to lose attitude heading into this tournament for you?
I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't think my attitude's been different one way or the other. I mean, obviously expectations for us are really low. Nobody, probably expects us to win a game. We haven't won a game in a while. It's been tough. But we're going to go in and approach it the right way and prepare really hard, and hopefully our players we'll play a little better. Our coaches will coach a little better, and we'll figure out a way to win.
What did you learn from the first game up here that you
Used in the second game, our transition defense was really bad in the game against Florida State here, especially first half. We really got behind. We had a lot of freshmen kind of running around, just making some really poor choices defensively in the game, and we gave them a bunch of open shots to allow them to make some threes. And I thought our transition defense was much better in the game going into at Florida State, and I thought we executed reasonably well offensively.
Devin seemed to think that a big part of the problem during this slump has been not defending as well as y'all did earlier in the season?
I think there are times. I think, there have been certain cases. Like, I thought we defended pretty well at Miami, to be honest with you. We pressed a little bit because we got behind, and so they got a few extra baskets and threes and things of that nature. But I thought our defense was good that game. Our defense in the second half of BC was not good. That probably cost us some things. It's been a little bit. There have been times where we've played very well defensively. There have been some times when we've had some bad spurts. The end of the game at Florida State, defensively in the last 5 minutes wasn't what it needed to be. It goes back to the same thing. Because we struggle offensively, our margin for error is so small. We don't. It's hard for us to score enough to really capitalize all the time, even when we're getting good stops. And so it makes your defense, look a little worse at times, and it puts pressure on your defense to have to be good all the time too. So I think there have been times, certainly in both cases, offensively, we've at times have played better than some numbers would show, and then other times there have been some times defensively we haven't gotten the job done.
Do anything to, help the team reset psychologically, such showing them positive things?
Rocky movies and stuff like that. I know that you guys love all that stuff. We're really motivating them by showing them Rocky, and we'll talk about things. Certainly, it'll be addressed. This is second season, if you will, and a chance to hopefully play well when people don't expect you to. But I don't know if there's going to be any major things that need to be done from that standpoint. I don't think that sometimes is as important as people think it can be, but we're certainly going to try to put a positive spin on our approach and have guys ready to play, and hopefully they're going to be excited. Hopefully getting to the arena on Wednesday and getting to shoot in the Greensboro Coliseum will build some excitement for the tournament.
The team's focus has been as good, attention to detail has been good, and February, March, it wasn't.
I don't know that it's been great all year at times, and some of that's youth. Some of that is, just there's so many things that you're teaching a young team that, you put salve on one wound and kind of get that one relatively healed and it scabs over. And then you got another wound to treat, and then there's another wound to treat. And then the one that's scabbed over, you feel like you got it under control and got the Neosporin, and then all of a sudden you rub up against something and it bleeds again. And, it's just, it happens. There's, with youth and with inexperience, you're never 100% certain about, we understand this all the way. We're focused, we're mature. I think sometimes with older groups, there's more of a sense of urgency also. You see that with a team like Miami you got 5, 6 seniors. There's a tremendous sense of urgency. Last year's Florida State team, there's a tremendous sense of urgency with older teams this is their last go-round. These guys have been through the wars together. When you have a big class like that, sometimes those classes really feel like together, this is our deal. And when you got young teams, those guys still feel like we got 3 more years, 2 more years. There's, just the sense of urgency isn't always what it needs to be. And I think there's been cases where that's happened. I also think the Florida or the NC State and Miami losses were very difficult for our team. I mean, when you put as much into those 2 games as we did, and really should win both. and really kind of outplay both teams and really put yourself in a game that, we plan for the game to be played one way. It's played that way. It goes down to the end for us to win it. We're kind of like we really could use a good pick-me-up win, and you don't get it in a heartbreaking fashion twice. That's, those are two big punches in the gut, and it probably took us a little while to rebound and maybe staggered us a little bit, shook our confidence a little bit, to be honest with you. And we just haven't completely recovered from that. It's not like guys haven't tried. I mean, they've come to practice and worked, and we've been focused, I think, but it's, it makes you question things a little bit, whether you're going to finish things, especially the offensive struggles in the games a little bit to be able to be good enough to win.
When you down on the Miami loss, do you have an idea that it's long-term damage that it did?
Yeah, you're always worried about it as a coach because you know how much you can tell. Also, how much like guys have really invested, and a lot is made of the games. Obviously, there are two big games, great crowds, the whole 9 yards, and it just. I mean, you're always fearful of that's going to be that there's going to be lingering effects. It's just like if you win those games, there's residual effects from winning. The high of winning. It's why I tell you guys a lot of times it's not always who you play, but when you play them. You play a team at a time when they're not feeling good about themselves or just got smashed in the face or something. It's a good time. And then you play somebody after a pick-me-up win, and now all of a sudden they got some momentum and they feel good about themselves. It's almost like a different team sometimes. And we were really ready for those two games and played pretty doggone well for us. Obviously, we didn't score against Miami, but gave a lot into it, and in some ways it may have affected some of our other performances.
As his career winds down, can you just talk about the importance, how important Devin Booker has been to the program during your tenure?
He's been, really important. He certainly has been a guy who's been a very good player. Really happy to see him rewarded for all ACC level performance. I think he deserved it. He's improved. I think he was very raw when I got here as a sophomore and wasn't very comfortable with his back to the basket making moves. He certainly has improved in that way. He's been big and strong and physically a major presence for our team, which I think sometimes is understated in terms of providing a presence and a belief in confidence in other players. So he's been, it's been terrific to have him for the last 3 years, and I think he's, again, his stats show that he's had an unbelievably productive career.
With he and Milt, do you expect an added sense of urgency for those guys, knowing that?
Yeah, I mean, you hope so. You never know, but you hope that they're going to, I don't know that it's like all of a sudden you're going to try harder, but I do think there'll be a heightened awareness to what's going on, and certainly those guys will, be ready to compete and hope to play at a high level.